Shall I tell you something curious? I saw your film this morning. I saw it, just me, in a cinema with a security guard.
Wow.
Just the two of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not far off the time I saw it, and it was some guy I'd never met was in there with me. It was just the two of us in a screening.
Yeah, I watched it completely by myself.
Did you?
Yeah, and I think that I like blacked out and had an existential crisis.
Why?
Because I was like, is this real? Hello? And there was no answer.
I'd like to know more about you.
There's really not much to know about me. Look at me.
I am.
When you said you had a kind of odd moment watching it, is that just because watching yourself in any situation is odd?
Yeah, I'm not really the best at it, but this one was particularly strange because I was looking at myself and I was like, God, I look so handsome, and I was so like buff and strong, and then I realized it was you.
Why am I here, Christian?
You're here because I'm incapable of leaving you alone.
There's no avoiding the question about whether or not, as a non-actor, I ask this question, whether or not there is something necessarily awkward about doing a film that requires you to do sex scenes.
I mean, it's not awkward.
What?
It's not. It's not.
Let's take a minute to think what that means.
Because it's not like there's no organic flow to things. It's very technical, and you sort of are in these very intimate situations with a made-up history and made-up situations. You know, it's.
You know, and just most people are more comfortable with clothes on than clothes off, unless you're like a naturist or whatever, which I'm not.
I am. Evidently.
Right.
I'd be really persuaded to put clothes on for this. So I guess, yeah, I mean, so that will breed a certain level of discomfort because you're not wearing much. But by this time we were doing those scenes, most of them were put towards the end of filming, and you know, we'd all built a level of trust with each other and understanding of how we approached the work and how we approached those scenes, and we'd talk them over. And as Dakota says, they are very choreographed, they're very thought out. It's very much we'll do this and then we'll stop and then we do this and we'll change the camera. You know, it's not just like a free-for-all.
And when you're under stress sometimes, you can get the giggles.
Oh,
Does that happen? I mean, I'm just sort of thinking, is that you in those?
That's her. I mean, I'm prone to a giggle, but she's a just constant giggler.
Yeah.
Really? Is it a problem?
It's, yeah. It's a problem because I also think that some of my wires are crossed in my brain, and I cry when I laugh. When I'm actually really laughing, I just have tears, and then we have to reset makeup multiple times.
You must get really confused.
Ooh, yeah, I got used to it after a while. Yeah.
It's really annoying. And then you think, like, don't laugh, stop laughing, and then I can't.
That's the funniest thing.
I'm intrigued as to, here we go.
It's just beyond this door.
What is?
My playroom.
Like your Xbox and stuff?
When you first started thinking about it, you know, I don't know, the first conversation took place.
Yeah.
Who's the person you go to say, do you know, what do you think? You know, what do you think about doing this particular film?
For me, it would be, you know, my wife, and then, you know, maybe friends of mine who are actors. I wouldn't call any of my mates I grew up with because, I mean, they're maybe a wasted phone call. But maybe some actor friends who have been in it. But essentially, it's my wife.
You're obviously from a film family, from a show business family. Does that make it easier? Does that somehow make people understand a bit more about?
Yeah, I think that they understand more. They understand circumstances more. Wow, this is a really beautiful lamp. Sorry.
You get distracted really easily.
I don't normally, but this one is actually really gorgeous.
It looks like an Emmy.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. We'll check. But go on, carry on with your theme.
And so, yeah, I do think that it does help that my parents, they've been through things like this before. But also, I didn't tell them until I was for sure going to be doing the movie, because part of me I just didn't want to get too invested, and I didn't want to, if I decided that it wasn't going to happen, or if they decided it wasn't going to happen, I didn't want to have to, like, explain myself to anybody.
Did you know much about the book?
I can't even imagine where you'd have to be living to not have known about the books.
Had you read the books?
I hadn't read the books before. Well, as soon as I knew there was a bit of heat and there was an idea that I was in the frame for it, then I read the first book.
Jamie, you're getting a lot of attention now. Things have changed quite a bit, haven't they, for you?
To be honest, this week promoting it, I think Dakota and I have both been in a bit of a bubble, and you're sort of protected from everything a little bit, and you're taken from screening, fan screening where you see it and it's palpable and they're delighted, and that's great. I guess I haven't quite experienced whatever it is you're talking about in terms of like recognition on the street and stuff like that. I haven't been subjected to it yet.
I think there is an amplified awareness about both of our existence at the moment, but yeah, I mean, I have just been sort of watching, trying to be objective and like look in on the situation, and it's pretty wild.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.